They are astonished by the way you draw your boundaries so sharply and decisively. They envy your creativity, your successes, and most of all, your demeanor. Cutting ties with them without considering your connection ignites a volcano of accumulated anger within them. Meanwhile, you stand steadfast and unshaken like a mountain amidst all these eruptions. Inside them, there is a sea that is constantly swelling. Anger and disappointments grow wave by wave. Whenever they focus on you, their resentment spreads through your veins like poison, destroying every crumb of peace within you. Their minds are always seeking nourishment like predators, but you do not let your peace fall into their claws. This obsession drags them into a swamp from which they cannot escape, while you stand safely beyond this darkness, maintaining a secure distance. They are drowning in the waves of the chaos erupting within them, while you remain like a lighthouse standing tall in the darkness. No matter how fierce the storm, you stand firm among the waves like a coral reef. They attack you with anger and hatred, but these assaults dissipate upon hitting the invisible energy shield you've woven around yourself. Beyond the chaos they have torn apart, you reside atop the mountains above the clouds. You notice what is happening in the muddy waters below, but you do not allow yourself to be dragged into that mire. Their negative energy rebounds without touching you because instead of absorbing it, you reflect it back like a mirror. The obsession within them drags them into a quagmire they cannot escape, while you remain beyond this darkness, maintaining a safe distance. While they are engulfed in the chaotic waves within them, you stand like a beacon steadfast in the darkness. The storms they create rage on, but you remain unshaken, anchored in your peace. Their fluctuating emotions directed at you dissipate before reaching you, as if the air around you is too pure to carry their malice. Thus, while they continue to drown in the poisonous well they have created, you remain solid and serene like a mountain, a lighthouse providing safety amidst their turmoil. You stand firm because you know a profound truth. Their chaos cannot harm you. You have built an inner peace that blocks their chaos from reaching you. While they burn with anger, you continue to cool in the silence of water. You have built the highest walls around you, so high that even storms cannot breach them. Your silence now serves as a protective armor, resolute and impenetrable. The bonds that once existed have been destroyed to ashes, and you find peace far beyond their angry voices. Even as they try to reach you with every step, they find only emptiness before them. As they try to grasp something with their hands, only cold air fills their palms. You have severed the ties and distanced yourself from the chaos, finding profound tranquility in this separation. What they say or feel no longer touches you. The walls you've woven around you are like a stone castle. Their disappointments crash against this castle and retreat like waves pulling back. As you realize they can no longer dominate you, you feel the growing desperation within them. However, these disappointments cannot reach your inner peace. They remain weak. When you cut ties and distance yourself, they become increasingly inaccessible. Their attempts to return to you become impossible. While they are stuck in a cycle, burdened by the weight of the past, you reside far beyond the storms they have created, somewhere higher. Every reaction they expect is met with your resolute silence. Your boundaries are as hard as steel, shaped by the power of your decisions, woven with the peace that comes from prioritizing yourself. Each provocation they attempt only meets the void of their own echoes. Like a mirror, all you reflect back to them is your silence, and this silence becomes their greatest pain. No matter how angry they become, like wind striking a mountain, they cannot move you. With each passing day, your silence gains more strength. As the distance between you grows, their efforts to reach you weaken further. The disappointments they carry become a heavy burden they must bear. When you understand that their anger cannot touch your inner peace, you anchor yourself in your tranquility. Your boundaries are now not only protective, but also a declaration, clearly stating that you will not return to their chaos. You have claimed your own space, and within that space, their influence has completely vanished. Their pride was their last trump card against you, and the moment you cut that tie, you elevated your level. While they are crushed under their own disappointments, you have already taken steps forward. They have masterfully built an illusion, a web covered externally with allure and internally woven with deception. On the surface, everything appears filled with sincerity. Every glance, every smile is a meticulously planned trap. Their words seem trustworthy, but each word is hidden behind a veil of false loyalty. They proudly display their fake virtues while skillfully concealing their true faces. They talk about loyalty, but what they say is nothing more than an empty echo. They wear a mask of reliability, yet beneath the surface lies a heart filled with treachery and betrayal. They display a friendly demeanor, but it is merely a deeper deception, a cover that hides the ruthless games of manipulation. Cracks in their masks are no longer escaping your notice. The leaking toxic reality seeps into everything. Now you clearly see that their loyalty is nothing but an empty lie, wrapped in sweet words but hollow promises inside. When they speak of loyalty, you know they are weaving webs of betrayal with every step, and each thread is a knot sewn with lies. You now see the reality behind their masks in all its nakedness. Behind their fake faces lies only beings chasing their own interests, spreading poison. Their manipulations have gone from being a subtle game to increasingly visible actions, leaving behind painful scars of betrayal. But you refuse to be tainted by this poison. You have already deciphered the game they play. Every move they make is predictable, like waves rising in the sea. They trust in their own cunning, but you have exposed their masks and unveiled the decay beneath. You will no longer let their poison touch your life. The distorted truths they present have no effect on you. You have recognized the fake face behind the mask and distanced yourself from those shadows. No matter how much they try to cling to their illusions, the curtain has already fallen, and their games have ended. You have seen through their tactics and clearly grasped the truth, and you will never engage in this game. They may continue to deceive others, but you have already reached a point beyond their reach. You have created your own space that prevents their chaotic world of lies and manipulation from creeping back into your life. Instead of getting lost in their shadows, you stand in your own light. And they can never dim this light, because your power does not belong to them. It belongs solely to you. Inside you burns a constantly erupting volcano, a power ready to heal others' wounds with compassion. This power spreads like warmth that envelops those around you with deep empathy. Yet behind this compassion lies a strong inner core. You are not easily deceived. You read people like turning the pages of a book, and your intuition works like a sharp knife cutting through lies. You clearly see the true intentions they hide behind their masks. Your insight penetrates the darkness of deception like a light, leaving them no place to hide. You instantly recognize their double games and never hesitate to clearly draw your boundaries. Your kindness is shaped by deep determination, Your resolve to protect your peace is fully supported. Empathy does not mean showing tolerance in every situation. It means knowing when to set boundaries. When someone crosses your boundary, you remove them from your life without hesitation. Just like a lighthouse emits light without guiding a storm. In this process, you rid yourself of unnecessary burdens and continue on your path. You protect your heart strongly because you know your peace is sacred and that you must be vigilant against those who wish to disrupt it. You do not dwell on doubts about people's intentions. You see the truth directly and act with clear determination. When someone shows their true face or tries to manipulate your trust, you remove them from your life without hesitation. You are not afraid to let go or distance yourself. You have no need to look back. They may try to return, lurking in the shadows, hoping to re-enter your life, but you have already closed the door. You are now the guardian of your own peace, and do not allow anyone to disturb this sacred space. Your strength comes from being who you are and embracing both empathy and boundaries. You have firmly rooted your truths, so no one can shake you. While others lose themselves in their own illusions, you move forward with determination and clarity. You have seen the truth and are unwavering in your choices to protect yourself. You carry both a nurturing and a warrior spirit, bravely defending your peace. While they wear a fake face, trying to hide their darkness, they attempt to imitate the natural light you emit. However meticulously they build a facade, the power of truth seeps through every fine crack in a wall, exposing everything. They are nothing but an empty echo of qualities they do not possess, displaying a shiny but hollow image on the surface. They construct fake virtues, perhaps even deceiving themselves, hiding behind a shadowy image while believing they are something more. However, your presence sabotages their illusion. Your deeply rooted identity knocks down their masks. You are bound to reality, carrying a heart filled with empathy and honesty, which is an unshakable force against their fake identities. Your light is not an act or a mask you wear. It is the essence of your being. Your empathy is not just superficial politeness. It comes from a powerful and sincere source that nourishes those around you. This power is a reality that deceit can never reach. You carry your honesty high like a banner, a stance that naturally attracts others and gains their trust without any effort on your part. While they strive to build a persona, you simply exist as you are, openly and genuinely. You do not hesitate to live your true self. You proudly choose to be yourself, revealing their hypocrisy with a powerful light. The light you possess threatens them because it casts a harsh shadow over their lies and masks. Their efforts of anger and manipulation clash with your positive energy, making the difference between you even more evident. You offer support and motivation. They cannot cope with the growing anger inside them, because seeing the qualities they lack in you threatens them further. You are like a magnifying glass. You reveal the flaws they try to hide. Your presence, like an iceberg, brings everything they hide beneath their deceptions into the light. There is no need to silence you, because just your existence confronts them with their inner void. Your light shines like a real flame, unlike their artificial glitter. Your honesty melts everything fake. While you are strong and rooted, they are like leaves blown by the wind. When you sever this bond, the burden on your shoulders is lifted, as if you have freed yourself from a heavy chain. Your soul now soars freely in the sky, like an eagle, unrestrained by the dark clouds that once hindered you. Freed from their toxic influences, you now walk your path with light steps, growing and moving forward. They are retreating, unsure of what to do with their wounded egos, becoming angry as they try to make sense of this new world they can no longer affect. Controlling and bending people to their will was once their habit, but you have broken that chain. By decisively removing them from your life, you left no doubt in their wake. Now, as all the tools they knew fail, they are drifting like captains who have lost their ship's course. The rage within them swells as they realize their attempts to change you are futile and that they can no longer affect you, reopening old wounds. They, who were accustomed to existing as a shadow in others' lives, have been cast out, and now their rage boils within them. The sense of control slipping through their fingers like water, leaving only a bitter void. Their anger is weak. It's as if they are trying to imprison a storm in a jar, growling but never reaching you. You have been endowed with a power they can never attain, developing in directions they can only imagine, completely independent and disconnected. You have embraced freedom as a gift. Areas once filled with chaos are now enveloped in tranquility and peace. You do not look back. Their anger cannot reach you, and their resentment does not taint the purity of your will. While they suffocate in the cage they created, you have ascended much higher, living in a reality where their influence is non-existent. Separation is not a weakness for you. On the contrary, it has become a strength, a gift that granted you freedom. While they boil in their own anger, you never allow this poison to touch your heart. They sneaked into your life with friendly smiles, but hidden behind them was a concealed intent. When they noticed you, they watched both admiringly and uneasily as they observed the power of your brilliance. They wanted to seize control of your light, to cage your brilliance and cloak it with shadows. Your positive energy disturbed the darkness within them, and their desire to extinguish this fire grew. Their plans to weaken a brightness that was not theirs crumbled when they collided with your resilience. The hidden darkness they harbored fed their hostile intentions against you. Every move they made was designed to weaken you and absorb your power, but unexpectedly, they faced your unshakable stance. Their hands trying to extinguish your light became lost in their own darkness, and the mirror of your soul reflected their inner emptiness. Eventually, they realized they were defeated by their own malice, and that their anger for not being able to harm you was growing within them. Their plan was to weaken you, to turn you into a shadow they could control. But instead, they were left helpless against your strength. They were defeated by your power. Their attempts to extinguish your light internally burned them. When their jealousy grew, as they saw their strategies fail to harm or change you, they became internally exhausted. They envied not you, but your resistance to their influence. You became a strong wall they could not overcome. Your light continues to shine as proof of their failed attempts, elevating your strength and essence. As their hidden intentions came to light, they were forced to confront their own inadequacies. Their plans had become meaningless and hollow shadows. You continue on your path. Their arrogance cannot touch you, and your peace remains unbroken. All their efforts highlight that they could not seize your unshakable light, and this power remains solely yours. They continue to maintain their existence like a storm. Just as some look to the sky for fresh air, they thrive on inhaling chaos. Drama flows through their veins like blood, the sole power that keeps them alive. They perpetuate every twist of negativity like a cycle, expanding it with every step. Every move they make creates a hurricane of unrest, leaving destruction in their wake without a second glance. For them, relationships are not bridges built on love or respect. Instead, they are tools of control. battlefields. They trap others, creating disorder and confusion to weaken them. In these relationships, which they turn into battlefields, they act like strategists, with every maneuver planned to sow seeds of chaos. They take pleasure in the stormy world they have created, feeding on the chaos they amplify. Their provocations have become the fuel for the turmoil they cultivate, continuously planting seeds of unrest in every encounter. The seeds grow into a massive conflict landscape that draws surrounding people into it as they grow. By adding more drama with each step, they revel in disrupting the balance around them. This chaos is their playground. The more chaos they create, the stronger they feel. At the center of the storm, everything seems to revolve around them. But in reality, they are like a vortex that consumes everyone's peace around them. You, however, have managed to escape this vortex. You stand in a silent refuge against their dramatic storms. You no longer get caught up in the chaos they create because you have chosen your own strength and peace. Without stepping into the dark pit they try to lure you into, you watch their drama-fed structure from the outside. While they lose themselves in the chaos, you protect your peace. With each encounter, you are aware of their attempt to draw you into that dramatic whirlpool. Their storms strengthen their desire to consume every moment they steal from you. But now, drama and chaos hold no power over you. Their winds cannot blow you away. You shine like a star, illuminating the sky in a peace-filled world you have built. Beyond the chaos, you rise within order and harmony. Now, the balance of the stage has completely shifted. The moment you cut the connection and cease to be a willing participant, they became obsessed with a power they cannot touch. Inside them, there is a growing, uncontrollable void, and they cannot stop focusing on you, even from afar. This obsession grows like a burning fire within them, consuming them as they cannot control it. They cannot let go. As they distance themselves from you, they ponder their loss and become trapped in a prison of their own created resentment. Their need for your presence now follows them like a tormenting shadow. Their minds are caught in an endless cycle. This power they can no longer affect or control has taken over all their thoughts. They can no longer manipulate, provoke, or direct you. This absence redirected their energy towards their own souls, a wound that refuses to heal, deepening every day. The anger they tried to impose on you has now turned into a poison that corrodes their souls. Inside themselves, they must face a growing pain with every step. This poison builds the walls of a prison they created, drawing them further inward. You severing ties has cost them the fading light of their own existence. Cutting the connection has taken away their ability to reflect their negative energy onto you. Now, this energy boomerangs back, striking them. They are drowning in their own poison, swept away by their own darkness. Unable to manipulate you or exert control over you, it corrodes them from within. Although they may feel a hunger to affect you again, this hunger has only turned into a vortex spinning within them, about to swallow them whole. You are now distant from this darkness, standing firmly as the guardian of your own peace. Freed from their toxic cycles, you plant new sprouts in the peaceful garden of your soul. You have rebuilt your boundaries, strengthened your walls, and thus prevented their negative energy from seeping into your world again. From this point onward, your light shines high enough that their shadows cannot reach. While they drown in their own strengths, you continue to rise in your own light. Now, the balances have collapsed like toppled mountains. When you sever ties and refrain from engaging in their games, they found themselves obsessed with a presence they cannot touch. Even from a distance, they struggle to breathe without focusing on your energy. This obsession has turned into a ravenous beast growing within them, uncontrollable. As they try to navigate the labyrinth of their own created resentment and anger, they encounter your image at every corner. Being unable to manipulate you, the loss of control they established over you deepens into a wound that gnaws at them internally. This pain, like an unhealing, bleeding wound, grows within their thoughts, overtaking them. The hatred and anger they feel towards you have transformed into an unhealing poison, becoming a vortex that consumes their own souls. The moment you cut the connection, you ended their hunger for your reactions. By leaving them in their own darkness and ensuring they are trapped within the cold walls of the void they created, you abandoned chaos and reached the harbor of peace. And this choice drove them mad. They are lost in their own games, a storm, helpless in the face of your clarity. But this storm can no longer reach you, because you stand within a sacred sanctuary you built yourself. Shining like a star in the sky, you emit a light they can never dim. You protect your energy by carefully choosing who can enter the doors of this powerful fortress you have constructed. As you remain distant, their obsessions deepen. The negative energy they directed towards you has now turned back on themselves, becoming a burning flame that consumes them. Being unable to cross your boundaries burns this flame. Each passing day, they are lost within themselves. Your inability to manipulate them, their lost control over you, deepens into a wound that corrodes them internally. This pain is like a never-healing, bleeding wound that grows within their thoughts, overtaking them. Their hatred and anger towards you have turned into an unhealing poison, becoming a vortex that consumes their own souls. By severing the connection, you have stripped them of their ability to reflect their negative energy onto you. Now, this energy returns like a boomerang, striking them. They are drowning in their own poison, swept away by their own darkness. Unable to manipulate or exert control over you, it corrodes them from within. Although they may feel a hunger to affect you again, this hunger has only turned into a vortex spinning within them, about to swallow them whole. You are now distant from this darkness, standing firmly as the guardian of your own peace. Freed from their toxic cycles, you plant new sprouts in the peaceful garden of your soul. You have rebuilt your boundaries, strengthened your walls, and thus prevented their negative energy from seeping into your world again. From this point onward, your light shines high enough that their shadows cannot reach. While they drown in their own strengths, you continue to rise in your own light. This power is like the walls of a castle, rising atop a mountain, unshakable and solely yours, a barrier they can never overcome. Choosing your own peace is like a ship changing its course in stormy seas. You have clearly determined your direction and are navigating through the waves. Your determination is like a treasure map where you have discovered your inner value. Staying away from their chaotic storms shows how solidly you have built your own harbor. You no longer have to be caught in their dark whirlpools, nor do you have to drown in their turbulent world. You stand firm in the sacred sanctuary you built yourself, impervious to the depths of your heart. Only those who elevate you and truly understand your true value can enter through the doors of this strong castle. Your resilience, like a ship breaking through massive waves, has carried you beyond their reach, setting an unshakable standard as you walk forward with steady steps. This is now your home, and with the power and wisdom that belong to you, you remain loyal to your path. Their influence is like dried leaves blown away by the wind, faded and insignificant memories. Now, you do not direct the wind, you direct the wind itself. If you have managed to come this far, you can join us by clicking the join button and become a member of the community of the only shining ones in the infinite universe.